You would be hard-pressed to find a more beautiful venue for college football today than the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina, with its breathtaking beauty and radiant fall colors. But for the next 3 hours, the peace and tranquility will give way to college football. Meet the welcoming committee, the Appalachian State defense, second best against the rush in the SoCon. Ready to tackle with perennial power, Georgia Southern. The Eagles have won 6 national championships, and they're bidding for their 7th straight SoCon title, and flying high these days with 3 straight wins. But a major challenge awaits. Football Saturday continues from Western North Carolina. A spectacular day for college football as we shine the spotlight on the Southern Conference today. Number 10, Georgia Southern, battling the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. And what a day it will be in the SoCon, our version of Separation Saturday. One loss separates the top 5 teams, and the top 6 clubs are going head-to-head this weekend. Good afternoon, everybody. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer, great to have you with us. Georgia Southern has dominated the SoCon, having won 6 consecutive league championships. And, Dave, it looked like they were going to be in trouble in September, losing back-to-back games, but they've righted the ship, having won 3 straight. And it seems that an injury turned their season around.
It did, and it's been a hot football player in Trey Hunter that's taken over at the quarterback spot. Trey's come on and guided this team to over 700 yards of offense, and he's rushed for 6 touchdowns, thrown for 4. The reason Trey Hunter's on the field is because 2002 Player of the Year, Chaz Williams, had torn up a knee. He is now back from an arthroscopic surgery. He is available for this ball club.
Meanwhile, Appalachian has gotten their season together. A big upset win at Furman last week has the Mountaineers back in the race. They rely on an outstanding defensive unit, and the leader of the pack is KT Stovall.
KT Stovall. Coach Jerry Moore told us the only guy on this field today that's beaten Georgia Southern is this man right here, KT Stovall. He's a 5th-year senior. He has 12 sacks for this football team, and they have 32 tackles for loss.
The head coach at Georgia Southern is Mike Seawalk. In his 2nd year as the head man, his ball club comes to Boone, 4 wins and 2 defeats, and a 2-1 record inside the Southern Conference. The dean of coaches in this league is this man, Jerry Moore, the head coach at Appalachian. His ball club has not failed to make the playoffs since 1993, and it looked like this edition was on some shaky ground. But they've got a chance, Dave, to play themselves back into the race with a win today.
We saw the standings, and this is definitely Separation Saturday for the SoCon. All top 6 teams playing one another. This can be a classic here today.
Eric Rockhold getting set to kick things off for Appalachian. Terry Kraft is the deep man for Georgia Southern. Appalachian State won the toss, deferred to the second half, so Georgia Southern will take the football, and we are ready for this big game. Georgia Southern and Appalachian, and great to have you with us here on Fox Sports Net. Kraft, 5 yards deep in his end zone, takes a knee. The quarterback of the Eagles is junior Trey Hunter. As Dave mentioned earlier, last week's SoCon Offensive Player of the Week, 312 yards in total offense and 4 touchdowns in the Western Carolina win. And the footnote to those statistics, it was just his 2nd career start.
He has been a huge catalyst for this offense. They had struggled a little bit. He's come in and done a great job for them.
A quick toss to start things. And Georgia Southern getting some big yardage out to midfield. Kevin Anderson with the carry. The offensive line as we check out Carolina Ford Dealer's starting lineup. This O-line key to the nation's 3rd best running attack, and you just saw a big gainer on 1st down. The best running back in the Southern Conference is number 6, Jermaine Austin. He ranks 4th nationally at 134 yards per game. There is Austin. 807 yards to date. 1st and 10 after the pickup of 30 yards by Anderson. And a gain to the Appalachian 44-yard line. Let's check out the Mountaineers D. 2nd in the conference against the run. KT Stovall, the Defensive Player of the Week last week in the SoCon. The linebacking crew is very solid. Sam Smalls will get the start. He missed last week with an injury. And weak side linebacker Corey Lynch, a ball bag that he's picked off 2 passes and recovered 4 fumbles. Second and short. And a quick toss to Kevin Davis. And he is shy of the first down. A penalty flag on the play as Smalls comes over to make the hit.
Might have got the mass late there on that tackle. Kevin Davis has done such a good job running this football team. He averages 9.1 yards a carry. He's held up here, but I think Smalls got a little too much of the mask.
So the penalty will give Georgia Southern the first down. It's interesting to note as this offense has gotten cranked up for Georgia Southern.
Face mask against the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
This is a team that has been converting 39% of its third downs, but in first quarters this year, only 27%. So Mike Seawalk and the gang from Statesboro, Georgia, feeling good about this opening drive. First and 10 at the Mountaineer 37. Hunter back to pass. He's going deep. He's got a man wide open, and it is going to be a completed pass at the 1-yard line as Teddy Kraft made the catch, a 36-yard gain. Then he lost the football after contacting the new turf here at Kid Brewer Stadium.
This is the beauty of being able to run the football. When you run the football, now you get a little play fake, and all of a sudden your receiver slips behind coverage. And a good throw from Trey Hunter. Good catch. Better catch maybe than the throw, as you see Teddy Kraft make a twisting catch and then tried to lay out to get it to the end zone.
And taking it into the end zone is Trey Hunter. And Georgia Southern marches 80 yards on the game's first drive to take the early lead.
When you play on the road, this is an important opportunity to get the football first. If you do get it first, do something with it. Super drive by Georgia Southern to get the football down the field. 80-yard drive.
Sean Holland is in to kick the PAT. And the Eagles of Georgia Southern take a 7-0 lead. Today's game is being brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers, driving the Carolinas. By BB&T, you can tell we want your business. By Stedman Hawkins, keeping active people active. And by Food Lion. Food Lion, extra low prices. Welcome back to Appalachian State University. The visitors from Statesboro, Georgia, with a 7-0 first quarter lead as they take the opening kickoff and drive it 80 yards in 5 plays to lead 7-0. And now the Eagles set to kick off. Derek Black, one of the deep men for the Appalachian State Mountaineers. He's averaging nearly 27 yards on kick returns, 12th in the country. A dangerous man. Devon Folks is also back there at his own 8. The kick will come to Black at the 2. Looking for a seam, using that great speed, and gets it out over the 30. A penalty flag at the 32-yard line. Quarterbacking the Mountaineers is sophomore Richie Williams, and had the best game of his season, it seemed, last week, Dave, in that victory at Furman.
Well, he just grew up throughout the game. It seemed like he got better as the game went along, and that's what allowed that team, along with the defense he played, allowed that team to win that football game at Furman last week.
Holding. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Ed Rhodes is our referee today. Here are the numbers on Richie so far in his still young career at Appalachian. A 50% passer. Coming into this game at 54%. He's at 57 of 105 with 3 interceptions and 4 touchdown passes. The penalty moves Appalachian back to the 15. That's where they start things. And a play fake right out of the chute. The pass too long, intended for Sterling Hayward. Up front, let's check Appalachian. Our Carolina Ford dealers starting lineups for the Mountaineers. 2 true freshmen at the guards, Ricky Epps and Matt Eisenhower. And a true freshman, Alan Atwater, is the leading rusher on this ball club. Hayward is indeed a sterling receiver. He leads the ball club with 23 catches. There's Atwater, who had a huge week 2 weeks ago, 190 yards against East Tennessee. 2nd and 10 from the 15. Atwater has it, and the Eagle defense is right there to get him. Let's take a look at that Georgia Southern defensive front. They are last in the SoCon, allowing 221 yards per game passing. Deshaun Jude will start today at defensive end. At middle linebacker, the leading tackler is Derek Butler. And at left corner, Aaron Whitaker has broken up 7 passes in 6 games. 3rd down. There's Butler, the middleman in that linebacking core for Georgia Southern. 3rd down and 9 for Appalachian. Williams out of the gun. Looking, running, throwing, and it is incomplete up near the 25-yard line. The intended receiver coming up out of the back is Leach, and that's incomplete. Now Appalachian 3 and out. Early momentum to the Eagles.
Yeah, early momentum to the Eagles. They played well on defense there. The corner, Aaron Whitaker, broke up the first pass play, got in the receiver's way, broke up the timing on the throw, and they were scrambling from 2nd and 10 to 3rd and 10.
Nate McKinney, an outstanding punter, looking to boom one here, and he does just that. Kraft backpedals to his 30. And a 5-yard return. Boy, McKinney with a tremendous punt. 53 yards, 10-yard return.
We got a chance to see a little bit of McKinney last week against Furman, and he picks right up where he left off last week. Had a tremendous week. He's averaging about 43 yards a kick, which is 2nd in the SoCon. But his ability to change field position, they were back. Appalachian was backed up significantly there. Now he kicks it back out where his defense has some room to work.
From the 40-yard line, 1st down and 10. Trey Hunter at quarterback, and the give to the fullback, Jermaine Austin. And Austin spins his way to the 48-yard line. Appalachian signals that they have it, but no, the officials say that Austin was down. 2nd down coming for Georgia Southern.
Well, that's what this Appalachian defense does so well. They get after the passer, they get into your backfield, and they create turnovers. Austin, just the simple ride, dive handoff to the fullback, and he's their featured running back. See if that ball, the ball did come out a little bit early. Ball came out early. So Georgia Southern catches an early break. Referees were not able to see that play. But what's so impressive about Georgia Southern's offense is they average 7.1 yards on 1st down. That's 39 points. They've had 39 plays on 181 plays on 1st down, 7.1 yard average.
Hunter gives Austin, crawls over the 50 and into Appalachian territory at the 47. That will be a 1st down for the Eagles, their 4th of the opening quarter.
We've already seen that in this game. The long run to start the game, the 30-yard run, and then the long completion to Teddy Kraft that set up the 1st touchdown. Both those plays were on 1st down. So if you're going to shut down Georgia Southern's offense, it has to be on 1st down.
This is a ball club that's averaging just under 28 points per game. Hunter on the option, takes it to the 39. 2 yards shy of another 1st down. This Eagles team is averaging 325 yards a game on the ground, 3rd best in 1AA football.
When you talk about converting 1st downs, when they get in regular situations, they're 38%. When you get in 1 to 5 yard situations, they jump up to 62% converting 3rd downs.
Nice decision. And the toss giving it to Kevin Anderson to the 36 and a 1st down. Trey Hunter showing some maturity beyond his years on that option, because Appalachian is a smash mouth in the trenches, hit you hard defensive front, and great poise on this option play.
Well, the offense has been run to perfection so far. They've stayed in great yardage situations. This was a 2nd and 2. He was able to pitch it out and get the 1st down to Anderson. But that's what that Appalachian State defense does, is create havoc. They have not been able to do that here in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Hunter wants to pass. He's throwing deep down the sideline. It's incomplete. Eric Irby is the intended receiver.
Good coverage by Black there. They had the play fake. Similar play that we saw in the first drive that Kraft caught down the right sideline. This time Black stays at home, stays the receiver, and there's no throw. You were talking about Trey Hunter maybe growing up, defying his years a little bit. Credit him there, throwing the ball deep enough to where only his guy could get it. If he couldn't, it's out of bounds. They regroup and set it back up at third down. They don't turn the football over.
There's the Appalachian defensive statistics. Ball hawks indeed. That's been an area of concern for Georgia Southern. Their takeaway margin. Hunter to the 32-yard line.
Good play that time by Blaylock and Leon Moore. Moore penetrates right away and makes Trey Hunter turn up inside where the rest of the Appalachian State defense is there. Blaylock and the crew are able to make the play, but Lee Moore pressured the play to start it, and Blaylock finished it off.
Leon out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, played at Carver High School. Hunter on the back of one of his linemen. Albert Turner, the left tackle, and the play is shy. It's going to be 4th and about 5.
The linebacker play for the Appalachian State defense. We talked about how aggressive they are. Pretty good blocking up front by the Georgia Southern offensive line. But again, KT Stovall, 93. These two defensive ends, Moore and Stovall, do a great job of filtering the plays back to the linebackers and allowing those guys to make the plays.
4th and 4. Eagles looking to keep the drive alive. And a whistle. Play clock shows 0.
Delay game against the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So that will force a punt.
Coach Seawalk probably had Trey Hunter trying to change count, maybe a hard count there, draw Appalachian offside. We're not able to do that. They realize how aggressive this Appalachian State front 4 is. Maybe draw them offsides and get the first down a cheap way. Now they'll punt the football. Devon Folks.
Waiting at his own 10. Excellent punt returner. And the fair catch made by Devon at the 12-yard line. A timeout at Kid Brewer Stadium in Boone, North Carolina. 9:18 of the first, 7-0 Georgia State. 7-0 Georgia Southern leads Appalachian State here in the first quarter. This week, a Fox NFL doubleheader beginning with the Saints and Falcons as both teams look to get back on track. Then the Buccaneers and 49ers go head-to-head. Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern on Fox. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and the NFC is on Fox. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you in the mountains this Saturday afternoon. Couldn't be better weather-wise for this great game of college football. The Mountaineers looking to stay in this race. They've spotted at Georgia Southern 7 early points. The 3rd time that the Eagles this year have taken the opening drive and scored. Meanwhile, Appalachian continues to have first quarter difficulties. They've been outscored big time, and they have allowed the opposition to score on the opponent's first drive 4 times in 7 games. The toss to Allen Atwater. Good hard running over the 15 to the 17.
It's a wide toss play to Allen Atwater. You had mentioned he had 190 yards 2 weeks ago. Last week against Furman, somewhere in the 60, 70-yard range. But this is just a good job. Good lead block by the fullback. Jones gets a super block, and boy, he does a good job. Whenever you got a good tailback that runs the football as well as Allen Atwater's running the ball, you've got a fullback laying some wood in front of him.
Southern Nash High School in Eastern North Carolina. Out of the eye, Atwater. Nowhere to go this time. Only to the 15. It's going to be a loss of 2. Big number 70, Eric McIntyre. Estero, Florida Jr. credited with the first hit.
When you play a football team that has a couple of weapons, and I'm talking about Allen Atwater and Richie Williams, the quarterback, as a defense, you concentrate on maybe taking one of those weapons away. I think they would like to take away Allen Atwater and see if Richie Williams can beat their defense.
Appalachians run 5 plays. They've got 5 yards in this first quarter. 3rd down and 7. Williams will keep it and go 30, 35. Well, there's an answer, Dave. He made the play.
On cue.
27-yard pickup.
Richie does a good job of running the option play. He's going to ride the fullback and read. He realizes the end crashes, so he's going to take it around the end. Now there's no reason to pitch. Nice crease. Look at Devon Folks trying to get a block out in front. He extends the drive. Good run for the sophomore quarterback. Again, you see the end crash, so there's nobody out there for him to option off of. Now he gets up the field. Devon Folks, the outside receiver, trying to get a little block for him, allowed him to get another 5 yards.
That's the first down for the Mountaineers. Atwater to the outside. Penalty flag. Atwater out of bounds to Georgia Southern 45. And the penalty flag. One step forward and 2 back for Jerry Moore's Mountaineers.
And Jerry's team does a good job of staying balanced. They run and throw the football pretty well.
Against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
James Burchett, the outside linebacker there, number 51, looks like he got wrapped up. And I was talking about the fullbacks. That's Corey Jones trying to get a block for his freshman tailback, and he ended up getting a little too much of the defender. And the guys in the black stripes saw him.
First and 16. Williams and out of bounds. And Dave, he had plenty of room to run had he so chosen. They had it blocked very well and about 15-20 yards of green Ursad's grass in front of him.
Well, I liked his decision though, Bob. He was a sprint out to the wide side of the field. He had Folks in the slot. Folks was open, and he had a chance down there. Actually, Folks was down the sideline. He had another receiver in the slot, and Folks had run by the defender. It looked like Aaron Whitaker, the outside defender, the corner, had let Folks run on by. He actually had a chance for a touchdown there and just made a poor throw. Little indecision in the huddle and have to burn a timeout.
And we'll take it with them. 7:16.
Appalachian
First
State.
quarter.
Their first
Eagles
set.
7. Mountaineers nothing on Fox Sports Net. Back at Kid Brewer Stadium, 7-0 Georgia Southern. College football recruiting fans, be sure to check out Countdown to Sonic Day Wednesdays at 6:30. It's the year of the linebacker in the South. And this week we'll take a look at one of the best. West Monroe, Louisiana's Luke Sanders. Plus the latest on commitments, recruiting visits, and more. Countdown to Sonic Day Wednesdays at 6:30 Eastern. Right here on Fox Sports Net. Big crowd, beautiful day. The Mountaineers and Georgia Southern.
All right, you got a 2nd and 15 situation here. So if I'm Richie Williams, my thought process is I'm going to try to get half of this yardage here. If I get to throw the football, I'd like to pick up half. Obviously, if you got a big shot down the field, you take it. But you'd like to get half of it, get yourself in a 3rd down and 6-7 situation to try to convert on 3rd down.
Richie hit as he throws. Incomplete. And Hayward pointing that he was interfered with, but no flag.
Well, that's what those linebackers do in there. Derek Butler gets a little handle on Hayward as he's coming over the middle. Hayward's in the slot. Now Butler's job is to look for a crosser. See him swivel his head looking for the crosser. Hayward's the crosser. See, that's pass interference, folks. Ball was in the air and the contact was further than 5 yards down the field. That's pass interference. Again, Georgia Southern gets away with one. They lost the fumble on the last drive and now get away with a pass interference.
Third and long, and Williams dumps it to Atwater. And And a punt coming for the Mountaineers.
Now, people will get on Richie Williams for making that decision. He looked down the field. He didn't like what he saw. He did not want to turn the football over. He's got a great punter. He dropped the ball off to Atwater, see if Atwater could make a play. He couldn't. Now they're in a manageable situation here, the punting. They're going to be able to change the field position with their punter. He's a weapon for this club. I think that's Richie Williams playing smart.
Kraft is deep. As Nate McKinney gets set to boom one here. This kid's got a good leg. Kraft inside the 10, back to the 5. He eludes one tackler, can't elude the other, and driven down at the 7.
Well, and there's exactly what Richie Williams was hoping would happen. His punter pins him inside the 10-yard line. Now you got this aggressive defense that does such a great job turning the football over, is on the field, and Georgia Southern is backed up.
1st and 10.
51-yard punt and a 2-yard return.
Bad decision to field the ball inside his 10-yard line. Now Kraft is going to try to make a great job and not blocking there by the Georgia Southern player. Get the clip, but now just great coverage. And you get a bunch of black jerseys in on that play.
1st and 10. Eagles at the 7. Austin. Thrown down at the 13. Jermaine, the sophomore from Darien, Georgia, was a tremendous wrestler in high school. Unbeaten senior year at McIntosh County High, 25-0. And overall as a wrestler, 161 wins and only 16 defeats.
He's got that low center of gravity. It's really hard to get your arms around him.
This time, Austin met and dropped by Omar Byram, number 95. Kid Brewer Stadium, Boone, North Carolina, Georgia Southern, number 10 in 1AA this week, against their old rivals, the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer, pleasure to have you with us. And a good one brewing here in the hills. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. Coming around on the toss is Anderson. Appalachian right there. They were burned early, Dave, but not that time.
Just a good play on the edge. Daniel Traylor came up and made a play. Had the wrong jersey. Daniel Player comes up and makes a great play. He plays off the block. He's initially blocked. 21 Traylor. Watch, he's hooked. But he gets around the defender and makes the play, and the rest of the team is able to rally. Derek Black is also there.
Folks is waiting. Folks is going to let it bounce. It gets a Mountaineer bounce, rolling, and touched at the 46 of Georgia Southern. So they won that field position battle.
And there you see the change of possession, and fans will look back and say, well, why did he throw the ball underneath? You see about 3 minutes later now, all of a sudden, Appalachian State doesn't have the ball on their 40-yard line. They've got it on the Georgia Southern 46-yard line. 14 yards of field position change simply because Richie Williams decided not to force the football downfield, depend on his punter to make the change.
4:26. The time remaining in the opening quarter, 7-0. In favor of the visitors. But now Appalachian with its best field position of the day. Their previous 2 drives started at their own 15 and their own 12. Richie Williams gives. Atwater turns the corner. 1st down, Mountaineers at the 29. Burchett and Muhammad on the tackle, but not before Atwater gains 16.
This kid's really going to be something. His feel to run the football. Watch him slide. He heads up. Now, there's nothing there. Just kind of slides to the outside. Yeah, he's getting some good blocking, but it's the vision of the running back. Being able to feel where the hole is, press and slide. He does a great job of that. Just feels his outside crease and goes to it.
Williams. Oh, he optioned it. Nobody was there. Atwater thought that Williams was going to just hang on to it. And now they're trying to get their communication together.
Well, The pitch relationship broke down on this play. Richie Williams gets a little too close to the sideline. Now, at this point right here, he's got to pitch it well before this, because once you get to the numbers, your running back's pitch relationship, and I mean the pitch relationship is about 4 yards between the quarterback and the running back. Once you get to the numbers, the running back's saying, hey, you're going to keep it at this point. I've got no room over here. Richie should have kept that football.
Andrew Stamey, the tight end, lines up to the left. Toss to Atwater. Needs about 3 more for the first. Derek Butler, the tackle.
Yeah, great pursuit by Derek Butler. He's the guy that leads his defense, and he's a sideline-to-sideline player. He made this play for no gain. Another good block at the point by Corey Jones, the fullback. When Atwater turned it up, number 43 Butler was right there.
Check it on the yards to gain. It is 3rd and let's call it 10. They've got to get to about the 20-yard line. 3rd down conversions. Appalachian 1 of 3. Williams has time. Zips it in traffic, and it's complete to Sterling Hayward. Down to the 13. My goodness, he threw that one between 4 defenders.
When you said zip it, that's exactly what he did. This is a cover 2, which is a kind of an umbrella coverage. 2 deep safeties, 2 corners, and they're all sinking because they realize it's 3rd and 10. But a good job of Hayward of getting in the hole, and then just talk about, there was a blue streak behind that ball. Boy, he put it on him.
Hayward has made a catch now in 31 consecutive games for the Mountaineers. None finer than that one.
Comes into the game averaging 16.3 yards a play, and so he's been their big play guy from the receiver standpoint.
16-yard gain.
Sean Jude limping off the field. Looked like he went off under his own power. He should be back.
He's been playing with a sore left foot, and that seems to be bothering him again.
2-yard line.
So Appalachian has it 1st and 10. Shaheen Solomon comes in at defensive end to take Jude's spot. Williams with the eye behind him on 1st down. The give is to the fullback, Stuart Adams.
Stuart Adams on the carry.
Every now and then they'll give that fullback a crumb. And that's all it is. They'll give the fullback ball a couple times. And what you do is you give him a little crumb, feed him a little bit, so then he can go out and hit those guys on the edge for you. Because these 2 fullbacks, Stuart Adams, who's leaving the football game now, and I'm sure he's replaced by Corey Adams. Corey Jones. Those 2 guys really get after people when they're blocking for their backs.
Williams. Oh, he found a great hole. What a run down to the 3. Oh, that was pretty nifty right there, Mr. Archer.
It really was, and it was all him. He realized he had no pitch because Aaron Whitaker did such a great job of taking away the pitch to the outside. Richie's going to ride the fullback, and then he turns it back up inside right there at the end. That was just him finding that little crease in there. See, there's no pitch. Now he's got to find somewhere to go, and that's just pure athleticism that gets him the 5 yards on that play.
3rd and 1 at the 4-yard line. Williams going for the 1st down.
Richie Williams on the carry.
Clock stops with 1:15 as the officials check on the spot here.
Well, this is just a crapshoot when depends on where the referee comes in and marks from. It didn't look like he got a real good spot.
No, I don't believe he did. And he's going to be short. Short by about the length of the football, it seems. Let's see as they stretch him out. That much. So 4th down.
Well, I think Coach Jerry Moore will probably go here, and you'll probably see 34 handling the football. Alan Atwater.
Fourth down. Atwater, the tailback. Corey Jones, the fullback, behind Williams. On the option, Williams takes it. He's got the first down at the 2, but shy of the goal line.
Yeah, but it's a good decision, Bob, because if he pitches the football, now Georgia Southern has a chance to make the play and keep him short. All Ricky Williams was looking for was a little crease. Once he found that, he realized he didn't need to get in the end zone. He just needed that yard to extend the drive. Now they have 4 shots to punch it in. It's an option play to this side coming right at you. Lead option. Jones out in front blocking. He finds that little hole. He says, now I got the first down. And now I got another couple. Now I got 4 downs to put it in. It's a good. He's done a good job in this series of taking care of the ball and taking runs where he had them.
Atwater. Second down.
Now a little bit of a problem on the handoff, which I think stunted Atwater's ability to hit it in behind Jones, the fullback, and it kind of delayed him a little bit and allowed Georgia Southern to get off their blocks and make the tackle. Southern real stout in the middle of the defensive line. Eric Hadley, Eric McIntyre, those guys in the middle there did a good job of shutting it down here at the end of the first quarter.
As the final seconds tick away. Southern Conference on Fox Sports Net today. 6-time defending champion Georgia Southern Eagles coming to Kid Brewer Stadium and battling Jerry Moore's Mountaineers of Appalachian. At the end of 1, Georgia Southern 7, Appalachian State nothing. Second quarter straight ahead on Fox Sports Net. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net. And we are in Western North Carolina. What a beautiful day as Appalachian hosts Georgia Southern. Well, we mourn the passing of one of the Tar Heel State's greatest athletes ever. Charlie Choo Choo Justice passed away yesterday at the age of 79. And you'll note at the bottom of your screen, he is one of 4 in Southern Conference history to be first team all-conference all 4 years of his playing. And you're saying, well, Bob, you said University of North Carolina. Well, back in the 40s, the University of North Carolina was in the Southern Conference. This conference, it's been around since the 20s, gave birth to the ACC, to the SEC. And the Tar Heels, when Choo Choo was around, played in the Southern Conference. We send our sympathies to his family. One of the all-time greats. Atwater stacked up on the right side. It is going to be a 3rd down and goal coming.
Once again, big Eric Hadley in the middle, part of that defensive front that just is not allowing things to get through the middle. And when Hadley's playing well and when McIntyre's playing well, this guy right here can make the plays. That's middle linebacker Derek Butler, and you see him stand up the back.
That was Sean Jackson with the carry that time. So things are getting interesting here. 3rd down and goal. This is the 12th play of the drive coming up.
Probably see him on the edge here now. They have not been able to get through the middle. Now he's going to have to, got out of the huddle late. Got a late call, so they have to burn a timeout.
Second quarter, 14-12 remaining, 7-0 Eagles. Back to Kid Brewer after this. 7-0 Georgia Southern this week on Fox NFL Sunday's pregame show. Howie Long goes to New York to find out what's wrong with the Giants and what needs to be done to get them back on track. And you'll never guess what Pam Oliver has on the scoop. It's the Ford 150 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show at 12 noon Eastern on Sunday, and it's only on Fox. A 7-0 lead for the visitors from Georgia Southern, and you're thinking Dave Archer get to the outside.
Yeah, the option play's been good to him. I think you'll see Richie, Williams, and Atwater on the edge trying to make a play.
Well, what a drive.
Over 5 minutes they've held the football here. This is when it would take it out of the offense if they don't get in. They've been out on the field so long and come away with just maybe 3.
Williams, touchdown. They made it look easy.
You just had to figure they're going to go back to the option. It'd been so good for him. And again, you can't say enough about what Corey Jones is doing at the fullback slot. He gets a good block that allows Richie Williams to turn up inside and make the touchdown for Appalachian State. Watch the fullback 43. Let's see if he gets a block. Right there on Burchett. Right in behind goes the quarterback. And that's what happens. You got a fullback that blocks the way Corey Jones does. There's going to be a lot of room to run.
The PAT is good. Rockhold with the kick. He's been perfect this year. Now 12 of 12. And this game is tied. Richie Williams takes it in from 2 yards out. 7-7 in Boone. And remind your friends that Rusty Wallace has been through it all in his illustrious career, overcoming stereotypes, a strained personal life, and a feud with NASCAR's Golden Boy. Beyond the Glory takes you inside the triumphant road of a racing legend, Rusty Wallace, on Beyond the Glory Sunday at 9, right here on Fox Sports Net. Ready for the Appalachian kickoff in a brand new game, 7-7 with 14:08 remaining in this second quarter.
Kind of what we saw last week, Bob, with Appalachian State kind of weathering the storm in the first quarter against Furman and then taking control of the game. Here they weathered the storm in that first drive, just an overwhelming drive by Georgia Southern. They come back and tie the football game.
Teddy Kraft, the deep man. Rockhold to kick it away for Appalachian. I want to ask you a couple of things about the field and the sunshine and shadows situation here, Dave, when we get a chance. Here comes the kick, and Kraft into the end zone. He's going to run it out to the 16.
Oh, great coverage.
First, let me ask you about the turf. It's brand new here this season at Kid Brewer Stadium, and a delight to play on.
It really is. A lot of teams have gone to it. You see a lot of the Division I teams, a lot of pro teams are going to it. This is what the Atlanta Falcons play on at the Georgia Dome. It's called field turf, and it's the closest assimilation to natural grass that you can get. A little bit of combination with rubber with longer leafed grass on the field. Very nice, soft feel to it.
And Jerry Moore was telling us yesterday they have cut their injuries way down this season because of it. Georgia Southern with the football and a big run out to nearly midfield. Jermaine Austin with the carry, and they'll mark him down at the 49. 32-yard gain.
Well, it's just the fullback up the middle, and this is the engine that drives Georgia Southern's offense. Jermaine Austin. Look at, he's just a bowling ball, knocking people down, bouncing off people. He averaged 134 yards a game. That leads the Southern Conference and is 6th in the country in rushing. And this is why he gets so many yards after he's touched.
Third play for Georgia Southern this half. 30 yards or more, inside handoff, and another big gain down to the 28-yard line. Brandon Andrews, the ball carrier this time, and Georgia Southern getting that bone cranked up.
And Brandon Andrews is built just like Jermaine Austin, 5'9", 204. Both men, sophomores, and both have that real low center of gravity. Great big legs. They stay low. They keep their weight over their feet, and they always fall forward.
Andrews from Swainsboro. Hunter. And the handoff. This time Andrews taking it over the 25 to the 22. Dave, the other question I wanted to ask you about the time of day. We're approaching 5 o'clock Eastern time this Saturday afternoon. Shadows a big factor. What's that like for the team?
The shadows aren't as big a problem as the sunshine as it starts to get low. And if you're throwing footballs where the sun is back into your receiver's eyes, that becomes a problem. And it can become a problem for defensive back also.
Austin to the 20 and shy of the first down. It will be third and, let's say a yard and a half, as Jason Hunter was the first man to get to him.
Well, Georgia Southern's offense obviously made some adjustments on the sideline because they now have the fullback. They didn't have the fullback in the last 2 drives. They now have the fullback and are featuring it in this drive.
Hunter. First down at the 15. The only clubs with more rushing yards per game than Georgia Southern is Nicholls State and the University of Rhode Island. You see they piled up 140 on the ground here in the first half.
The bulk of that in this drive right here.
Austin wrapped up to the 12. Some pretty tough yards in there for Jermaine Austin.
Well, they can change. Coach Seawalk does such a good job of changing the blocking assignments up front for their offensive line. He'll change how they want to attack. They'll let a defender go, and that's who they'll option. They'll change it from a defensive tackle to a defensive end. They'll even change it to a linebacker. They'll loop and leave a lineman unblocked. Go block the linebacker. So he does a good job of changing blocking assignments.
Hunter to the 9. Coming up that time, Jason Hunter for Appalachian. Defensive end. Second quarter, 7-7. Two big gainers, one by Austin, one by Andrews. And now Georgia Southern has it third down. We'll call it 5. Just inside the 10-yard line. Davis, the motion man, gets it on the pitch. Can he get to the outside? Yes. Can he get to the end zone? Yes. And Georgia Southern has 6. Kevin Davis with his second rushing touchdown of the season. And the Eagles go in front 13-7.
Well, it's a little option play. They changed the look. They motion Davis back inside. He becomes the pitchback. There's the pitch. And just a dive by Jarrell Carter. He can't get there. Davis is kind of their big play guy. He averages 9.3 yards a carry. Actually one of their top receivers too, so he's a guy that has the ability to break one open. That was a nice play there.
That turned out to be a 9-yard rush, and the kick by Sean Holland is good. Kevin Davis Jr. from Folkston, Georgia with the touchdown, and the Eagles go back in front 14-7 at Boone. Kevin Davis, 9-yard touchdown run, capping an 84-yard 8-play drive for Georgia Southern. And all 84 yards on that drive on the ground.
That's the second 80-yard drive we've had today from Georgia Southern, and it's the 6th of the season. They've driven for 24 touchdowns this year, and 14 of them have been 60-plus yards, so they can go the long way when they can take care of the football. And that's the key to Georgia Southern's offense. If they don't put the football on the ground, they're very difficult to stop.
Jonathan Dudley kicks it away. Derek Black at the 3. Returns to the 25. So Appalachian going back to work. First down at their own 24-yard line. Last week, Appalachian went on the road and knocked off the number 5 team in the country, Furman. They have number 10 Georgia Southern today, and then on the 25th of October, it's back to Spartanburg to take on Wofford. So this is a very challenging portion of the Mountaineers' schedule, but as the Mountaineer folks were telling us yesterday, Dave, every week's a playoff week for them. Williams swallowed up and thrown down by Eric Hadley.
Well, Hadley stepped up his play. He did a good job in the goal line on the last series of downs for Georgia Southern's defense to stop that inside run. Here he's going to take the quarterback. Hadley's going to play that defensive tackle slot and just run right through the freshman Epps and make the play on the quarterback. Yeah, also got to credit the other side of the defense for getting some penetration.
Hadley leads the team in tackles for losses with 5. It's another one to his credit here. 2nd and 12. Williams near side. Folks with the grab and out of bounds at the 28.
Devon Folks is just outside, just a 3-step drop. Folks has got the corner playing off. Catches it. Now back down to a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6 situation. And again, this brings everything back into play. You have a draw play available. You have the screen. You have the short passing game. That completion allowed the rest of the offense to come back into play.
Mountaineers 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. Williams is ready. Wants to pass. Dancing around. Now has to run it. And gets the first down at the 36. This is what makes this young man so valuable, the 2nd leading rusher on the ball club.
Well, he does a good job, and this is the first pass play I've seen him read in the wrong way. He's got Sean Jackson at the bottom of the screen open, but he realizes he got a little bit of pressure, and he says, okay, I'm going to get the first down on my own, and does a good job of getting there. But he had his back, Jackson, in the flat open. That's the first one I've seen him miss. He's played really well to this point.
On the toss, Jackson. Penalty flag. Jackson driven back as he gets to the 42-yard line. Derek Butler made that last tackle for Georgia Southern. Let's check the flag. And we'll back the Mountaineers up.
Somebody must have got a little start. The guy that's been extremely active in the middle for Georgia Southern has been Butler, Derek Butler, the middle linebacker. Watch him play off the block and just come up and get in with the rest of the guys on the tackle. But he does a good job of sealing it off. So now the back has to turn back inside.
Enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty. Decline. 2nd down.
So the Eagles will take the play instead. 2nd and 10. Correction, 2nd and 8, they're saying now. As they adjust the sticks on the far side, Williams up and under center. He's got Atwater in the eye behind him at tail. Slot left. Inside handoff to Stewart Adams. Nothing doing. Once again, that GSU defense led by Victor Cabral. Southern Conference football on Fox Sports Net today from Kidd Brewer Stadium here in Boone, North Carolina. 8-12 and counting here in period 2, 14-7. The Eagles on top. Appalachian faced with a 3rd and 8. The Mountaineers 4 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Play clock. They get it off in time. Williams. To the 41.
It's good coverage by Georgia Southern's defense. They went to a zone, dropped 7 into coverage. That time Appalachian State had 3 receivers in the package, and so 7 versus 3, obviously tough to find any holes to get the football to, or to anybody to get the football to, and Richie decides to take off. Again, putting it in his punter's hands, hoping he can pin Georgia Southern's offense.
Nate McKinney on the punt. Kraft's going to watch this one rocket all the way to the end zone. 59-yard punt, but they lose 20, of course, on the touchback. 7:35 remaining in the period. This week's TIAA Cref Student Athlete of the Week is Brady Anderson. Brandy is a member of the Western Carolina women's golf team, holds a perfect 4.0 GPA, and is on the Dean's List. She was named to the SoCon Academic All-Conference team last spring and hails from Orlando, Florida. For more information on the TIAA Cref Academic Awards program, go to SoConSports.com. Georgia Southern, after the punt, has it 1st down and 10 from the 20, and they'll stick it on the ground to their main man, Jermaine Austin.
Again, Georgia Southern's ability to get that positive yardage on 1st down. That's what this whole offense is predicated on, and Jermaine Austin is a main key to that part of the offense. They average, we talked about 7.1 yards a carry on 1st down.
Austin having another outstanding half. Hunter on the keeper, 1st down and then some, up to the 36. Jerry Moore was telling us yesterday, Dave, about what he's been preaching to his defenders all week long, and that is to not get frustrated. Stay patient, stay with the plan, which is responsibility on the option.
Yeah, and the option, if you break down and don't stay with your assignment, then things are really going to break down for you. And that means somebody's got to take the fullback, somebody's got the quarterback, and somebody's got the pitch man. If somebody gets frustrated and says, hey, I'm going to take the quarterback this time, then the next thing you know, you got a Georgia Southern defender running down the field.
Hunter hit as he throws, and this one is going to be intercepted. At the 43-yard line, Jeremy Wiggins with the pickoff, and that is his first interception this season.
Wiggins with great coverage, but Daniel Traylor lays a lick on Trey Hunter at the end of this play. Hunter's going to ride it. Now here's the chance for the big play, but watch. You see Traylor come in and hit the big hit. Just a good job of Wiggins on Davis. The coverage, Wiggins right there with Davis. And a super catch. It's a great catch.
At the Appalachian 43-yard line. Wiggins is a young man from Georgia. He's from Macon and was recruited by Georgia State, Southern rather, as a running back. So he comes up with the interception here. Pass to the outside, and it is Folks over the 45 to the 47-yard line.
Let's go back to the interception. We've got some that don't believe he may have caught this football. Let's see if Wiggins is able to hang on.
No, it hit the ground.
So the breaks are what, 2-1 in favor of Georgia Southern?
Right there.
Looked like the ball slipped out of there and got out of there. Tom Hewitt, our producer downstairs, saw that one.
He doesn't
nice job,
miss
Tom.
a thing. The eagle eye. Second and 7. Atwater. Penalty flag. DeVron Jefferson the tackle.
By the speed of Georgia Southern's defense, they really flow to the football so well. If they're not blocked, you're in trouble. Looks like they're going to get Hayward again on the edge for a hold. Hayward trying to block the corner on the option game. And I think they're going to get number 6 for the hold.
Holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat, second down.
Got the option play to the wide side of the field. Got the pitch outside, number 6. There's Hayward right there, got hold of the corner. And credit Aaron Whitaker. Aaron Whitaker fought through the block and actually got in on the tackle, even though he was being held by Hayward.
4th penalty against Appalachian. Georgia Southern suffered many penalties this season, but today just one flag against them. Williams now out of the gun. Plenty of green grass, but he's going to hoist it, and it is incomplete at the 25-yard line. Hayward was the intended receiver, had it for an instant, then it bounced off McBride, and incomplete.
Well, James Young, the free safety, is going to come from the middle of the field and get his hands on it right there, and then it goes off of Hayward into
Folks nearly caught it.
Almost ended up with it. Wow.
Everybody's getting into the act. 5:18 before halftime. 14-7. Georgia Southern leading. Williams now 4 of 9 for 31 yards. He's faced with a 3rd and 15. Ritchie cranking, throwing over the middle, complete to Folks. Breaks a tackle, 45-40. And out of bounds at the 35-yard line. First down for Appalachian.
This is a dangerous play, but Richie Williams gets away with it because Folks is such a smart player. Folks is the inside receiver in the slot, and he's going to curl inside. Georgia Southern's defenders run past him. Folks comes behind the coverage and then breaks a tackle right at the first down marker and got the first down.
Lewis Barr was the man who had him around the ankle.
There's the throw back against the grain, and normally that'll hurt you. But he broke the tackle and got the first down.
Nose of the football just shy of the 35. Mountaineers looking, throwing. Williams to the near side, and it is to Turner. He's got it to the 25 and wrestled out of bounds to the 23. Brandon Turner makes the grab. Muhammad the tackle.
And Turner finished the play too. He made the catch and finished the run. Got the first down. Well, this is just a little swing to your slot receiver. Hope you get a block from your other outside receiver. Now watch him finish this play. Little want to in number 14 right there.
1st and 10, Appalachian at the Georgia Southern 23. Williams faking the play action, now throwing, and it's complete over the middle to the fullback, Stewart Adams, touchdown. Great play call.
Great play call, exactly right. Play fake to the middle. Fullback's going to slip right by Butler. And Adams just makes the catch, and the big fella's backs it into the end zone. I mean, that's like backing an 18-wheeler up right there. I mean, he can't turn this thing around. He's just going to back her into the end zone.
And the kick by Rockhold to tie it with 4:30 remaining in the second quarter. Sophomore Stewart Adams from Laurinburg, North Carolina, with his flashers on, backs it into the end zone. The first career reception for Stewart Adams is a touchdown.
How about that? None better than that. You get in the end zone your first catch. Now you got to score every time. But it's just a play action fake, and Derek Butler got caught inside on the play fake, and then he's got the back down the middle.
6 plays, 57 yards.
It's interesting they caught him with that play, because when you go back to film study, and they ran this play last week against Furman, and Adams dropped the football and was going to score on that play. So when you talk about film study, Georgia Southern saw that play on film last week, and yet they didn't respond to it when it was shown to them again.
All right, we are ready for Eric Rockhold's kick. And Teddy Kraft is the deep man for Georgia Southern. We'll keep an eye on Trey Hunter, the quarterback for the Eagles. On that interception, he was hit hard and suffered an ankle injury. Let's see if he comes out. On the return out to the 34-yard line is Carl Kearney. He's been playing with a bum ankle, but he makes the return here, and that's where Georgia Southern sets up.
He's in there.
And Hunter is the quarterback.
Took a big lick on the interception from Traylor. Right at the end of the play, Traylor got a good lick on him, but Trey Hunter now has a hold of this quarterback position. He knows Chaz Williams is standing over on the sideline. He doesn't want to give it up. He wants to stay in the football game.
Some confusion, some movement, and flags.
Well, Hunter wanted to change the play. He saw a defense that he wanted to get to something. He saw the back start. Anderson started in motion, and then when Hunter started to change the play, he moved back, but one of his offensive linemen jumped.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Number 10 is Chaz Williams, the junior, who suffered the knee injury 3 weeks ago. His right knee was scoped and hasn't played since.
He's an electrifying player, though.
Had shoulder surgery last year in the offseason. Austin to the 35, 36-yard line, maybe looked like a possible face mask. Williams was just fabulous last season. 27 rushing touchdowns.
Just a spectacular year. When you put 36 touchdowns on the board, whether you're running or throwing the football, you're giving your team a chance to win. He struggled this year, and some of it's because of injuries. He's only averaging 2.9 yards a carry coming in today's game.
Dave Archer-like numbers at quarterback.
Yeah, I wish I could run like that.
Hunter. Close to the first down. Looks like he's got it at the 45.
Coach Shewak talked about how tough the kid that's playing quarterback right now is Trey Hunter. He's done a really good job coming in these last 3 games. We talked about the 750 yards of offense he's generated. Seawalk really loves the toughness of his quarterback.
Big crowd today here at Kid Brewer Stadium at Appalachian State University. What a day for football. 14-14. Austin to the 48.
Coach Seawalk getting back to what they do best, and that's run the football, feature the fullback, and try to run the option off of Jermaine Austin. Jermaine Austin, the number 5 rusher in the country. Coach Seawalk realizes that he's a little bit limited on how he wants to throw the football, so he's got to pick and choose his shots.
187 rushing yards in the first half of the Eagles, and here goes Austin, Hunter rather, and he gets it over the 30, down to the 25, to the 24-yard line. Daniel Traylor made the tackle, but not before a big gainer by the quarterback.
Such a difficult offense to defend. You got to stop Austin. He's their feature guy. So now you're going to a little counter option play. Good block outside by the big fella. That was Chad Mott got a big block, and Hunter, just his athleticism gets him down the field. You see the numbers that he's racked up over the last 3 weeks. He's doing it again today.
26-yard gain. Andrews to the 17. Sam Smalls, the first man to get to him.
Well, this is strength against strength. Georgia Southern's front group blocking, coming off the football, and that front 7 for Appalachian State's defense, it's done such a good job. Number 2 in the SoCon against the run. They're getting pushed around a little bit now by Georgia Southern's offensive line.
217 rushing yards for the Eagles. On the toss, a penalty flag comes flying right at the end of the play. Smalls, perhaps a late hit. Kevin Davis was the ball carrier.
It's on them.
Now it's going to go against the Eagles.
Illegal block on the outside. A lot of times when you run the option or run pitch plays, your receivers are expected to block and they get caught.
Illegal block in the back against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. Repeat, second down.
It's a wide toss play. Davis is your back. No. Outside receiver gets the block in the back on Lyles, and that's where your flag came. It was a late flag, and Lyles got blocked in the back. Receivers fighting out there. They got to stay on their block so long when it's a long developing play like that. Sometimes they get behind the defender and get flagged for it.
2nd and 7. Austin. This will not be brought down.
Jermaine Austin on the carry.
Well, Appalachian's defensive line does a lot of stemming, and by that I mean they move back and forth on the defensive line. You see Leon Moore is out of position. He's not sure where to line up, and they ran right in that hole. Jarrell Carter was able to get a hand on him and kind of keep him close to being short of the first down.
There you see the measurement. Halftime coming up. We'll be taking a look at the Titans and Panthers, their big NFL matchup tomorrow. Dr. Harvey Durham will be joining us here. We'll have halftime stats and highlights all coming up.
Probably the game in the NFL on Sunday is that Titans-Panthers game. Be neat to see that breakdown. Broncos play the Vikings tomorrow. That's a good matchup, but that Titan-Panthers game is the premier matchup for tomorrow.
Who'd have thunk it when the season began?
That's exactly right.
3rd down and inches. And look at that offensive line. Just the surge. They only needed, of course, inches and got
a yard, maybe 2. But they were just able to get underneath that Appalachian line and just drive them back. Great strength. Look at these guys.
Look at the size of that man right there. Those two guys, you get behind those two guys, you can make a lot of. That's Highway 73 and Highway 66. You get on that and you go a long way.
Yes. Davis, the motion man. And this time, Jermaine is stacked up. Leon Moore, he made that play.
Georgia Southern will burn a timeout now because you're inside a minute. But this defensive front has to rise up. And this time Leon Moore gets great penetration. KT Stovall kind of seals it off on the front side, but Leon Moore makes the play there. We talked about how active this defensive line is coming into this game. The front four had 31 tackles for loss for over 100 yards. The team has 51 tackles for loss, so they make a lot of plays in the opposition's backfield.
Let's take a look at this Georgia Southern running game, because in the last 18 plays they put it on the ground 17 times, and they're getting great results. This is Kevin Anderson that started the game. That was the first play from scrimmage. Jermaine Austin had a 32-yard gain in the first half.
What makes them tough is when you get a lot of people involved. There's Kevin Davis, ran in on the touchdown on the option play. We've also seen Andrews get in there and make plays. Trey Hunter's made plays running the football. Coach Seawalk's got all of his components working right now.
2nd and 12. Hunter looking for running room and finds it. Inside the 5, down to the 3, close to the first down. Corey Lynch, the tackle.
Must be just shy. The official did not stop. Now they will stop the clock and measure. But when you're a running football team, you're not used to going no huddle. So this becomes a little bit of an issue. Georgia Southern will burn a timeout now. They're not used to going into a 2-minute operation. You know, you see teams that throw the football, they're used to lining up, calling the play at the line of scrimmage. If you're a running team, that's not something you normally do. You don't normally call a lot of running plays at the line of scrimmage in a no-huddle operation. So they've chosen to burn the timeout here and get themselves in the right play here on 3rd and 1.
That's something that can work against you if you're down late in the game, as we saw Georgia Southern at Wofford.
Yeah, it really does. You don't throw the football with a lot of success. They run the football, and that's what they want to do. They're very good at it. They're one of the best in the country at it. But when they struggle to run the football, which they have not done today, or if you're in a close football game like you were talking about, and you need to move the football in big chunks, they seem to struggle a little bit throwing the football out of spread packages and go into a no-huddle operation, which they're not really used to doing.
3rd and 1. Georgia Southern has 117 yards rushing this quarter. Not too shabby.
Yet the score is 14-14.
Yeah.
Appalachian State's defense has been bending, but they really haven't broken.
3rd and a yard. On the Mountaineer 3 as Hunter gets him up to the line. Trey takes it to the 1, first down and goal.
Trey Hunter on the carry.
Both teams with 1 timeout remaining.
Now here's where it becomes a little bit uncomfortable. Maybe called 2 plays in the huddle now. The quarterback sneak, and then had another play that he already has called in the huddle, so there's no reason to call a play at the line of scrimmage.
Hunter stacked up. He's not going to get in. It'll be 2nd and goal. Hunter kept trying to make that extra surge, and each time Appalachian was there to meet him.
Their 3rd and final timeout.
So the Eagles use their final timeout.
So now you lose your last timeout. You're out of timeouts. Now Coach Seawalk is presented with a situation. Do I run the ball with a run-pass option, or do I just run the football again in the middle? Because if he's stopped short of a touchdown, there's a chance before the ball can get spotted. You're talking about guys piled up in the pile if it's an inside running play, that they may not be able to get another play off with 20 seconds left. Get everybody lined up, get a play called. Now they'll probably try to call 2 plays in the huddle, and should they not be able to get in. But if you're caught and you're not able to get in, there's a chance the clock runs out here.
This afternoon, 2:50 to go in the ball game. 5th goal.
Well, you can tell the way when you're around Coach Seawalk, he has too much fun, man. He's always smiling and slapping guys around, and he just enjoys being out there, and I think it goes right out into his players. It permeates into his players, and they play with that looseness that he presents himself with too.
20 seconds remaining in the half. Hunter straight ahead. Is he in? No signal, and that clock just keeps draining. Now an official's timeout.
Well, I think they're trying to dig him out. They can't see where he is. The officials cannot find. Once they find him, they'll find that he is over the goal line. They're going to signal us a touchdown.
Touchdown.
But you can see where, had he been held short,
yep,
they may not have gotten another playoff. So credit Hunter for getting in, because that situation, you may not get another playoff.
The touchdown comes with 11.6 left in the second quarter. And the PAT from Sean Holland coming up. Holland, interesting, does the place kicking and the punting.
Very difficult duty to be the punter and the kicker. Two completely different moves at the football. But he's done a pretty good job with it for Georgia Southern.
Out of the Trey Hunter hold, and the kick is good. 11.6 left before halftime. Georgia Southern back in front, 21-14.
Well, Hunter's just going to get in behind the road graders, and that's those big fellas up front. And you can see he's underneath, 15 players there. That it took a long time to dig him out. But the Georgia Southern offensive line got underneath the Appalachian State's defensive line and were able to move him back enough to get their quarterback in the end zone.
Again, a drive that exclusively is on the ground. Hunter now with 14 carries and 83 yards, 2 touchdowns. A scoring drive of 13 plays and 66 yards, all rushing, and now Georgia Southern has outrushed Appalachian State 252-79 in this first half.
It's an incredible number, and still only be down 7 points as Appalachian State is right now.
And they've got a chance here. As you know, Derek Black is one of the premier return men in 1AA football. Jonathan Dudley's going to kick it away to him, and Black is always a threat to break one. Black gets a running start at the 18-20. Oh, he's got something to the outside, didn't quite see it. Coming back to his left, there was an opening.
Looked like he had a little crease in there.
Appalachian, let's see what they decide here with 6.1. If they want to make a Hail Mary here or take a knee, and we'll see what Jerry Moore's thinking with 6.1 left. Now, penalty marker.
Illegal substitution maybe on Georgia Southern.
That's exactly what it is.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution. 12 men in the formation against the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, now Richie only has to throw it about 70 yards. The first half is history. Little pushing and shoving here at the end of the half. Well, we thought it was going to be a dynamite game, and we have not been disappointed. We have reached halftime at Kidd Brewer Stadium on the campus of Appalachian State University in Boone, North Carolina. These two teams fighting for their lives in the Southern Conference race. 3 times Georgia Southern has taken the lead. Twice Appalachian has come back to even it. 21-14 at the break on Fox Sports Net. College football Saturday on Fox Sports Net. Kidd Brewer Stadium on the campus of Appalachian State University. What a day for the beauty of the mountains. As the leaves are changing, the beauty is breathtaking, and we've had a football game that came, Dave Archer, as advertised. 2 really good clubs just knocking each other back in a 1 touchdown difference.
And really fighting for their lives to try to win and stay in the Southern Conference race to win the championship, and they're playing like that.
Let's take a look at our first half recap, and it begins with Georgia Southern scoring not on this play, but on their first drive. Teddy Kraft got it to the 1 before Trey Hunter took it in. It was 7-0 in favor of the Eagles. But Appalachian, as they did throughout that first half, came right back, stuck it on the ground. The freshman Alan Atwater had a big 16-yard gain, and then Richie Williams, the quarterback, took it in from 2 yards away, and that tied the game at 7. But the running game really served Georgia Southern well, and Jermaine Austin had a big game.
Well, Jermaine Austin is a key to this team, the leading rusher in the Southern Conference, and he ripped off a couple of big runs in this game. And then we got the pitch to Kevin Davis, and Kevin goes in from 9 yards out, and Georgia Southern's back on top.
It was 14-7 at that point. Then Williams went to the air. Stewart Adams. Beep, beep,
yeah, we backed it in there. and what Georgia Southern finishes the scoring at the end of the first half with the 1 yard plunge there by Trey Hunter to put Georgia Southern up 21-14 at the half. But what you got was you got Georgia Southern running the football, which is what they wanted to do, and then you got the mix between pass and run for Appalachian State.
Our Food Lion first half statistics, a whopping 252 rushing yards.
Well, you look at the time of possession at the bottom. There's only 10 seconds difference, which means ASU's taking care of the football, and they're moving the ball enough to stay in this football game. Usually when you give up 252 yards in the first half rushing, you're down 35-0. Credit their offense for doing enough to keep them in this football game.
And it will be Appalachian ball to start the third quarter.
They won the toss at the beginning of the game, deferred. They will now get the football to start the second half.
Well, we talked about the race and how the top 6 clubs were going head-to-head today. Wofford won big at Western Carolina. A very impressive afternoon for the Terriers, 38-6. And down in Charleston, South Carolina, the Citadel playing some really good football of late. 10-0 leaders over Furman at the half.
Well, I'm really impressed with Coach Ayers' group, the Wofford Terriers. They've been tremendous. We got a chance to see them play this Georgia Southern football team and really limited what Georgia Southern was able to do in that football game. Went on to win for the second time in 2 consecutive years against Georgia Southern.
A team with 2 losses has not won the Southern Conference outright in over 25 years. And so the point you made, Dave, is such a great one about how these clubs are fighting for their lives.
They really are, and Appalachian State gets the first chance at the football here in the second half.
Derek Black is the deep man, and for Georgia Southern, Jonathan Dudley set to kick it away. Here we go, the third quarter underway. The lights are on, field completely in shadows, and Black elects to run it out of the end zone. Down to the 15. And a penalty flag.
Derek Black on the return.
Well, maybe not a good decision for Coach Jerry Moore there. Black decides to bring the ball out of the end zone 5 yards deep. Had to turn to catch the football, and then you're going to get a penalty on top of that. And so now Appalachian State's offense now will be back way up inside their 10-yard line.
Dave, we made the point in the first half about defending the Georgia Southern option and not getting frustrated and not trying to do more than you can. Can we apply that also on that kickoff return? Black's trying to make a big play when he really didn't need to.
Well, you'd like to think that Black, with his ability to do the things he does at the receiver or at that return position, would understand it's a 7-point game. We're talking about a 1-possession game here. Let me give my offense a little bit of room out to my 20 and down the football here. So I think, yes, it can affect you to a certain extent. He's been on defense. He's been watching them run at him all day long. He says, hey, I'm going to change this thing around and make a play. He made a bad play there.
After the penalty, it is first down at 10 at the Appalachian 8-yard line. Play clock draining as Williams runs the option to the outside and gets smothered by middle linebacker Derek Butler.
Derek's had a heck of a football game. Again, I talked about him being a sideline-to-sideline type linebacker, and that's the way he plays. When you play the linebacker spot, you try to keep the offensive lineman off your legs. He's in the middle, number 43. You see a lineman comes out to try to get a block on him. He plays off the block and then just comes down the line. His job is to take the quarterback on the option play, and he gets it done right there.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Alan Atwater Good job of keeping those legs moving after first contact. Crawls out to the 13.
Boy, it really was. Atwater continues to push. There's Butler. Butler going to scrape and try to make the play in the hole. He's got hold of Atwater. That's a leg drive by Atwater. He falls forward. And now you're in a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 situation. So all the offense comes into play now for Appalachian State.
Williams. And Butler's got him by the shoulder. And the tackle made at the 14-yard line.
Well, when you talk about assignment football on defense, Butler's got to get to the quarterback. Burchett's got the pitch man. Burchett did a great job outside taking away the pitch man, so Richie Williams had to carry the football. And you see the strength of Butler as he reaches in with one arm and pulls the quarterback to the ground.
3 and out. As the punt by McKinney settles into the hands at the 35-yard line up to the 40 of Terry Kraft. And Georgia Southern with outstanding field position, 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. A 50-yard punt, 4-yard return. Jerry Moore, the dean of Southern Conference coaches, more wins than anyone in the history of this league. And we talked earlier with the passing of Choo Choo Justice how this Southern Conference has such a rich heritage and tradition. Look at some of those names, some of the greats in the history of football. Frank Howard, Wallace Wade, the man they named the stadium after at Duke. Byrd Stadium at Maryland was named for H.C. Byrd. I mean, these are some of the greats. Yeah, Dick got the Furman program moving. And Austin is stacked up. No gain on this one. Now, there's a rare time for the Appalachian defense. They stopped them on 1st down.
That was the key to stopping this. We talked about it earlier. Was the key to stopping this Georgia Southern offense was to limit them on 1st down. Not a good passing attack. They feature the run. They've been averaging this season 7.1 yards on 1st down. They don't do it here. That was Jarrell Carter came in and made a nice play for a 1-yard gain.
Hunter wants to throw. Chased out of the pocket. And he is dropped at the 39. 95 is Omar Byram, the redshirt freshman from Winston-Salem.
Well, this is where Appalachian State would love to force you into throwing the football, because now you turn loose Byram, you turn loose Moore, you turn loose KT Stovall. Stovall's 93 on the edge. He realizes he has contained. He stays out wide and allows Byram to come in and clean up the mess.
3rd and 12. Hunter cuts it back, finds a hole, but short of the 1st down as it gets to the 48-yard line. Corey Lynch, the free safety.
Well, if you put Georgia Southern in a 3rd and long situation, and that's 10 plus, they only convert 11% of the time. They've only converted 3 times all season in that situation. KT Stovall forced that play, and then it was finished up by the secondary.
So we're ready as Devon Folks goes back to receive the punt of Sean Holland. At the 10-yard line is Folks. Here is the kick. Folks coming up. He's going to let it bounce. And it gets an Appalachian bounce out to the 22. So the Mountaineers gain, about 14 yards in field position as they start their 2nd drive of the 3rd quarter when we come back. College football recruiting fans, be sure to check out Countdown to Signing Day Wednesdays at 6:30 Eastern. It's the year of the linebacker in the South, and this week we'll take a look at one of the best, West Monroe, Louisiana's Luke Sanders. Plus the latest on commitments, recruiting visits, and more. It's Countdown to Signing Day Wednesdays at 6:30 Eastern on Fox Sports Net. Boy, Derek Butler, you talked about the day that he's having. He made every tackle in that last series.
Well, he just continues to not be blocked. And when you're a linebacker, a middle linebacker, and you will not be blocked, you're going to make a lot of plays. He just has a tremendous attitude towards, I got to get the football. He's a ball hawk, and you see he is all over Richie Williams in the last series of downs.
But now it's a new series, and Appalachian has it 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line. Williams on the give to Atwater. You really like the way this kid has that vision, the way he slides on that line.
Yeah, he just kind of leans and slides. He doesn't have great speed. He's a freshman, and he just kind of leans and slides and finds the hole. Butler's going to end it. Gets a good lick on the inside from Adams. He ends up getting run over and making the tackle on an 8-yard play by Atwater. But Atwater just kind of leans and finds the hole. He's real patient. I think he's going to be a heck of a back for his careers over here at Appalachian State.
An 8-yard pickup on first down, 2nd and 2. To the outside. Atwater, nice cut. Over the 35 to the 36, first down Appalachian. James Young, the tackle.
I don't know, the running style is just a kind of an easy running style, the way Atwater runs the football. The play is a little off-tackle handoff, and you see a good block on the edge from Jones, the fullback, and then Atwater does a good job of following him, and there you got a first down.
Atwater, 51 yards and 11 carries.
I think they're going to have to get Richie Williams involved throwing the football, though, if they're going to continue to move this steadily. I don't know that Atwater can carry the load against this active Georgia Southern front seven.
And he cannot this time. Modest gain to the 40. Victor Cabral, the first Georgia Southern defender there.
They've done a good job of mixing plays up, Bob, throughout the game. We saw the touchdown pass to Adams earlier in the game. Those are the kind of things they're going to need to do. Continue to let Richie Williams stay involved throwing the football.
Is Solomon okay? No, they're going to check on him. He has a bad left knee, was questionable for today's game.
Well, Deshaun Jude, who was playing that position earlier, had already left the game with a foot. And Solomon had come in and taken his spot, so a little thin at that defensive end spot. Solomon, a 6'2", 240-pound freshman, very active player, very, very athletic on the defensive end position.
I don't know how you did it, Dave, but that's something you avoided your entire career, is a knee injury.
Yeah, I don't either. And I had some shots on my knee. It's just lucky, and that's all there is to it. There's not any about preparation or being more muscular and whatever. It's just plain luck. That's all it is.
Robert Locke coming in to take the defensive end spot, vacated by Solomon. Locke, the senior from Savannah. 2nd down. Williams to the outside, leaps and takes it out to the 43. Did you like the spacing on that with his tailback?
Well, it was good. And what Richie decided that time, Richie Williams decided, is he said, hey, I got to, by the numbers, I got to run the football. He didn't try to pitch it to his back. Georgia Southern's doing a good job of stringing it out, and by that I mean they got players all the way to the sideline. They're able to string play. So Richie's finding the crease and hitting it up in there. He did a good job there. But again, Derek Butler with another tackle.
Penalty looks to go against Georgia Southern here. Eagles are backing up.
This is a big one too.
And now you see head coach Mike Seawalk getting the explanation. And you'll hear it too. Our referee in this one today is...
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct against the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Mr. Ed Rhodes with the call. So we're at the 43-yard line, 1st and 10 for Appalachian. .850 and counting, 3rd quarter, 21-14. Georgia Southern on top. Williams swings it to the near side. Atwater. Boy, the white shirts got there quickly, didn't they? Led by Terrence McBride, Matt Rio, number 96.
Well, this is on your quarterback. Richie's got to make a better throw in this situation. You've got to bag, and this is a tough throw. This is one of the toughest throws you'll make as a quarterback. is the back swinging out of the backfield. He's actually running straight away from you, but you've got to lead him to his upfield shoulder. That time the ball was thrown to his back shoulder, which made Atwater spin completely around, lost his momentum, and at that point, Georgia Southern's athletes were able to rally and make the play for a 4-yard loss.
Second and 14. Play clock at 2-1. They beat the clock, but they can't beat Georgia Southern on this play. Matt Rio there to stuff it up. 3rd and long. College football Saturday, Fox Sports Net. Number 10 and 1AA, Georgia Southern. 7-point leaders over Appalachian State. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you. Mountaineers on their second possession of this 3rd quarter. 3rd and 15.
Appalachian goes now to their 5 defensive back set, 3 down linemen, anticipating pass.
Williams back, throwing, and it is complete. Leach makes the grab. Barr, the defender. The spot at the 36-yard line.
Well, Leach is isolated on the corner. It's a man coverage. He turns his defender to the outside, but he's supposed to be up the field. You see Haywood is inside. Sterling Haywood was supposed to be running the in route there, and Leach was supposed to be over the top on the post clearing for him.
Appalachian.
He and Haywood had a little discussion after the play.
A timeout with 6:52 remaining. 3rd quarter in Boone, 21-14.
Honey?
Fantasy football players, listen up. Now there's a show just for you. 30 minutes of who to start, who to sit, and who you need to pick up. The Ultimate Fantasy Football Show tonight at 11:30 p.m. and tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, only on Fox Sports Net. Check your local listings for start times in your area. What a beautiful backdrop for a college football game. The Blue Ridge in North Carolina. We're in Boone, where it's 21-14 Georgia Southern.
Well, this is a great setting for a stadium. It's just nestled down in a little bowl here with the mountains all around. There's Howard's Knob off on the left there, and it just nestled down in here, and you get the feel that the stadium is even bigger than it really is. Sound just reverberates in here.
McKinney was out to punt. They called timeout. Now Appalachian goes for it. Williams on the option, runs it, trying to get to the stick, and he's got the first down. He's such a threat running the football. Pretty good play call for Appalachian.
You talk about strength here now, Bob. This is Richie Williams' strength, because he's tackled by Burchett and Mooring are both there. And he makes the contact is actually about a yard short of the first down, and he drives for the first down. Well, you see a lot of effort on both sides of the ball. These two teams want this game desperately.
Atwater. Just a routine 5-yard pickup.
You're going to run the football. That's what you want. And the big fellas up front now for Georgia Southern, creating some room for their talented freshman, Alan Atwater.
Under 6 to play in the 3rd.
He's the number 4 rusher in the Southern Conference, so he's been a guy that's been a factor all year long for this Appalachian State offense.
Atwater has 55 yards, Williams 48. Williams on the play action, pressure from the corner. Williams is going to run. He's got some green grass in front of him. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line. First down, Mountaineers.
Classic case here, Bob. If you've got man coverage down the field, there's nobody slotted for your back or for your quarterback. You see Carter's going to run, or Butler's going to run with the fullback. That's man coverage now. There's nobody left for the quarterback. You see Williams pointing at folks, give me a block. But now they're inside the 15-yard line, and App State's threatening to tie this football game.
1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. Give Williams 13 yards and 63 for the day. Atwater. Atwater. Touchdown.
Boy, that was an impressive drive by Appalachian State, helped by a 15-yard penalty by around the midfield part. But their players stepped up. Atwater stepped up. Richie Williams stepped up, and their offensive line helped them get the football into the end zone.
Rockhold bids to tie it. One shoe on and one shoe off, and Eric Rockhold knocks it through. 5:28, third quarter, tied for the third time. Now at 21. Alan Atwater, the freshman from Middlesex, North Carolina, making a name for himself in the Southern Conference.
Number 10, Georgia Southern is tied up by Appalachian State. 21-21 here in the third quarter, and Alan Atwater, the freshman, gets in for Appalachian State. Just an I formation ISO play, big block from the fullback. And then Atwater makes McBride miss. That's good running by the freshman to get it in the end zone. You'll watch it in the middle of this run. I'll show you right where, the little shake right there. He makes McBride miss for the touchdown. That's just good running. Watch the block by Adams now on Burchett. Boom, right there. Rocked the head back. Atwater got to the outside, made a little shake on McBride, and got in the end zone.
3 times Georgia Southern's taken a 7-point lead. 3 times Appalachian has come back to tie it. Eric Rockhold's kick. End over ender coming to Carl Kearney at the 6. Kearney up the sideline and out of bounds. Stepped out, they say, at the 27-yard line. And the Eagles will take over at that point. And a penalty flag against the Eagles.
Super drive, 11 plays, 78 yards. It's the second team we've seen.
Holding. Returns team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
That's the second time we've seen Appalachian State go the length of the field and put the ball in the end zone.
Well, we talked about it earlier, Appalachian State's first half difficulties, but look what they do after halftime.
Especially the third quarter has been, they've been tough on their opponent in the third quarter.
From the 17, Georgia Southern 1st and 10. Hunter takes it out of the fullback's belly and runs it up to the 26. Corey Lynch the tackle.
Again, a good solid run by Hunter on first down. Keeps them in a good situation on second down. Keeps their entire offense intact.
In the Southern Conference today, number 8 Wofford, highest ranking ever for a Terrier team. Big win at Western. East Tennessee wins by 10. And Chattanooga has its first win. Austin, first down at the 34. Omar Byram, the left tackle, credited with the hit. Austin now approaching the 100-yard plateau. He and Hunter right there. Trey has rushed for 97 yards on 17 carries, and Jermaine Austin 91 yards on 14 attempts. Hunter looked like he wanted to pitch it, but then he got snowed under and a loss on the play.
Looked like Leon Moore cut off the play, and then Blaylock was able to finish him off. But again, the 2 defensive ends for this team, KT Stovall and Leon Moore, they do such a good job of hemming in the quarterback and getting penetration. It confuses his decision making.
A loss on first down. 2nd and 12. And again, the Appalachian front making life miserable for Trey Hunter.
Well, Blaylock's going to get credit with the tackle, but KT Stovall makes this play. KT gets such quick penetration that the quarterback can't make a decision. He's the guy we featured in the opening. This guy makes so in 93. Watch him. He gets upfield. There's no place for Hunter to go. So he turns back inside, and Blaylock is there. Stovall is so active on the outside. Look at the athleticism to get out there in front of the quarterback.
3rd down, 13 yards to go for Georgia Southern. Hunter forced to pass to the sideline, and it is complete to Kraft. And that's a 1st down for the Eagles.
Well, if you're Coach Jerry Moore, you kick yourself right here, because this is, you want to force Georgia Southern into throwing the football. Credit Trey Hunter for making a really good throw there on a comeback route. But this is what you want Georgia Southern doing. This is a great throw. Kraft runs a good route, but you've got 2 really good corners. Derek Black and Lyles on the other side are 2 quality corners. You expect them to hold up in that situation.
Hunter into Appalachian territory at the 49.
That's only the 4th time all season Georgia Southern's converted on a 3rd down and 11+ situation.
2nd and 6.
And it speaks volumes for the competitiveness of number 14. I think Trey Hunter just brings an element that I'm not going to be denied. And he's played that way the last 3 games coming in, and this game also. 4 games in a row.
Andrews. Tough running yards to the 40. Lynch and Smalls combine on the tackle. Andrews getting a few touches today. A grand total of 67 yards this season coming in, but he's carried it now 4 times for 47 yards in this game.
And Coach Seawalk's making that defensive front rotate those defensive linemen. They're shuttling them in and out of the game. Good play by Leon Moore. That's Leon Moore playing the quarterback and the pitch there. We talked about these 2 defensive ends, and you're not going to find any better in this conference than these 2 guys. Leon Moore looks to see if the fullback's getting the ball. He doesn't see it. He steps outside and cuts Trey Hunter's ability to go outside with the option, and then turns and makes a tackle on the quarterback for no gain. That grades out pretty good. And I think his buddy KT Stovall will applaud him for that effort.
They are fun to watch. Unless, of course, you're rooting for the Eagles of Georgia Southern. Play clock at 2. And that's going to be a penalty.
Well, you can hear the sideline of Georgia Southern yelling, "Call timeout." I'm not sure why Teddy Kraft didn't call timeout. He's standing right in front of Coach Seawalk.
All right, the snap. Delay game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
He's got a smile on his face all the time. Maybe a 15-yard penalty. Telling him, hey, you just got 15-yard penalty. He's got a smile on his face. Guy just has a good time being out there. And his players play that way, too.
Teddy, it's me, Coach Seawalk. I wanted a timeout. 2nd down and 15. Swing pass. Davis, he's going to throw it down the sideline to Kraft, and incomplete. And what a play. What a play by Lyles. Well, you talked about it a couple of plays ago, Dave Archer, the wonderful corners that they have at Appalachian, and Lyles may have saved the day on that one.
He really did. They're getting a little swing pass. It ends up being a lateral to Davis. A little swing to lateral to Davis, and then Davis is going to try to find Kraft down the field. But Lyles times it perfectly, comes over the top. These 2 corners allow Appalachian State to let their safeties get involved with the run. They turn these 2 corners loose one-on-one on the outside. You see Lyles, he timed that up perfectly. He came over the top, made the play.
He almost intercepted that ball.
Did.
3rd and 15. Hunter to pass. He's hit, and the ball's knocked loose. It's picked up by Moore. And we may have seen the big play of the game. KT Stovall drills Hunter from behind and knocks the ball loose.
Well, we've talked about it all game long. KT Stovall is the motor to this defense. When he has an opportunity to rush the passer, I'm not sure anybody's going to be able to block him. We saw him do this at the end of the game in Furman last week, create the fumble, and his buddy on the other side, Leon Moore, who's played an outstanding game today, scoops it up and then takes care of the football. Watch her at the end of this run. Moore scoops it up. Now Georgia Southern's Davis is going to try to strip it out. Leon Moore realizes how important it is to take care of the ball.
The big man is having a big game. Williams and Appalachian, and they drop it. And it's a loose ball. The officials are going to have to untangle this one. Is it Georgia Southern? No indication yet, except from the players, of course. The ball belongs to Appalachian. Second down.
It looked like Richie Williams dove back in to get the football. Atwater comes out late. But great penetration by the Georgia Southern defense. Big hit by Burchett. And then the ball's loose, and now it's just a matter of getting on the bottom and who's going to end up. It looks like Georgia Southern has got the ball right now. But that's what happens on the bottom of the piles. You don't want to know what goes on the bottom of those piles.
Penalty flag.
Part of the snap. Illegal substitution. 12 men broke the huddle. Gets the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Well, Appalachian came out with a slot on both sides of the field and 2 running backs. I think they had probably a pretty good opportunity to make a play there. They unfortunately had one more guy than they were supposed to have on the field. That looked like one of those Canadian League formations.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Wow. Put the remote down. You need all the football you need is right here. We got a dance.
Yep.
21-21 as we go to the 4th and Boone.
On Fox Sports Net.
Fox Sports Net and college football Saturday. 21-21 in Boone, North Carolina. The setting sun back behind us, and man, I'm telling you, what a game. Appalachian with the football, second down, and 21 yards to go. And a significant change defensively for Georgia Southern. Derek Butler is out with an ankle injury at middle linebacker. We've been calling his name all day, and he's out. They've retaped the ankle, but he's not back in yet. And Richie wants to throw, and it is incomplete. Sterling Hayward, the intended receiver. There's Butler on the sideline, and it's Jason Earwood who's taken his place.
Well, and you already saw the effect of not having Butler in the game. That was a play-action fake, and Georgia Southern played zone behind it. But Earwood bit up so much on the run fake that Haywood was open behind the linebackers. Butler's done such a good job of seeing play fake and getting back that you already see the effect of having a freshman at middle linebacker right now.
Third down and 21 yards to go. Williams out of the gun. Has time. Now Danson gets back to the line and fires. Incomplete at the 25. That ball hit the dirt. McBride covering. Folks, the intended receiver.
Again, a deep zone by Georgia Southern, trying to give up a pass underneath. But what Richie Williams is doing is he's buying some time and trying to get the football down the field. Here he decides to go to Devon Folks. Good break on the ball by McBride. He knocks it down.
McKinney's punt. Fair catch at the 14-yard line by Teddy Kraft. And Georgia Southern will get it. Now, does that take some of the steam away from Appalachian? They came up with a big turnover but couldn't do anything with it.
I think it plants a little bit of doubt in your offensive mind because you've got the football at the 40-yard line of your opposition. I don't think it takes anything away from the defense. I think these guys just feed on being able to be on the field, and I think you'll continue to see them play at a high level. But offensively, they're going to have to regroup and think about what we need to do to accomplish something and get the ball in the end zone. And
with Butler out of the game, could not get the first down. Here's Hunter diving up toward the 20-yard line. We'll mark it at the 21, they say. Knows the ball over the 20.
And I don't think we can overemphasize how good McKinney has been today. But Hunter, again, he pins Georgia Southern deep. Now, Georgia Southern comes out with a patented first play, another 7-yard pickup. But McKinney's been stellar today.
50.6 yards per punt on 5 kicks. Hunter. First down at the 26. Georgia Southern with 18 first downs in the game. Appalachian with 13. Georgia Carter made the last tackle.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job of probing that defensive middle for Appalachian State. KT Stovall and Leon Moore have stayed in the game the majority of the time. But Coach Moore is rotating Suter, Byram, Blaylock, and Carr. They're rotating 4 guys in that middle area because Southern is really coming off the ball in the middle.
Inside Austin, nothing there. Whereas in the first half, Appalachian rarely made a first down stand. We've seen it, I'd say 4 or 5 times here in the second half.
They forced Georgia Southern in a couple of 3rd and long situations. They converted one, and then you had the turnover, and then they were unable to convert the other one. And so they have forced Southern into some longer yardage situations.
2nd and 7. And a loss on this play. Byram. We've called his name a lot this afternoon, the redshirt freshman.
Yeah, the middle group is fighting hard. Byram does a good job of getting in the middle. I think that Connor saw the fullback run clean and said, wait, I may should have handled that football off. And he was going to follow him through the hole, and then Byram came off his block and made the play.
You know, we get so swept up with what's happening right now, but boy, you look down the road next year, 2 years, these are going to be 2 outstanding football teams.
And look how well Appalachian State has adjusted against the run here in the second half. He gave up 250 plus in the first half, only 41 here in the second half.
A timeout in Boone, 12:41 remaining, tied at 21. (21-21) here in the 4th quarter. Fox NFL doubleheader, Saints Falcons, then Buccaneers try to shut down and perhaps shut up Terrell Owens. 49ers trying to get back into the hunt. The NFC coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern on Fox. The biggest stories are in the NFC, and the NFC is on Fox.
I think the latter part of that equation you talked about will never be done.
Yeah. The mouth that roared. 12:41 left in Boone, tied at 21. Bob Rathman, Dave Archer with you. 3rd and 9 coming up for the Eagles. Hunter. Intercepted. Lynch to the 15. Corey Lynch with his 3rd interception this season. And the 2nd interception today for Appalachian.
Corey Lynch will get credit for this interception, but you better give KT Stovall some credit too. Watch the rush from 93 coming on the left side of your screen. Right in the quarterback's face, knocks him to the ground, overthrows Anderson, and now Lynch does what he does best. He really is a ball hawk. 4 fumble recoveries, a couple interceptions, his 3rd on the year here, and now he's set up Appalachian State's offense to have a chance to go ahead.
1st and 10 at the Georgia Southern 15. Boy, you're right. Lynch has been a ball magnet this season. Here is Folks. Folks down the sideline. He's in for the touchdown, and for the first time today, the Mountaineers lead.
Man, it's a good call by Jerry Moore and his staff. Hadn't seen Folks run the football all day. We know they like to get the football in the little playmaker's hands. Great punt returner, a kid that's super in the open field. Run the little ISO fake inside, and Folks comes around on the reverse for the touchdown.
Eric Rockhold with the kick. 7-point lead. Devon Folks, third touchdown of the year, first on the ground. Appalachian down all day. After KT Stovall's great pressure, Corey Lynch with the interception. And on the next play, Appalachian scores. Lynch with a big pickoff, and that set up the TD.
Fake inside, and now Folks is going to get on reverse. Watch the fullback block right there by Jones. Freeze him down the sideline, and that's what you want. You want Devon Folks in open space. The Atwater fake freezes the inside people. There's the block from Jones, and he gets in the end zone. Folks is the kind of guy that this is what you want. You want him out in space, out on the edge. He's one of the leading punt returners in this league. You get him in that situation, he's going to make a lot of good things happen for you.
Appalachian has lost 4 straight and 5 out of 6 to Georgia Southern. The question before the house is, can they finish the deal? 28-21 Mountaineers, first lead of the game. Kraft in the end zone, runs it out. Sideline and out of bounds at the 20. A final and an upset in Charleston, South Carolina. The Citadel 10 and number 13 Furman 9.
And you wonder how much effect the Appalachian State game. We know one effect it had on Furman. Appalachian State went up there and won that game 13-10 last week. We know what the effect was because Bo Moore, the quarterback for Furman, was hurt late in the game on a tackle by KT Stovall. Had to start the freshman.
Andrews, the fullback to the 25. 2nd and 5. Up to date, Wofford, the league leaders. Winners today at Western. They're 4-0 in the league. Citadel now 3-1 in the conference. Amazing. And now you've got the winner of this game.
I just think it's amazing how up and down this league. It's amazing and how tight these teams play each other.
Again, it's Andrews, and again, good running room straight ahead. Over the 35 to the 38-yard line.
I mean, when you looked at the play in this conference, the Citadel really didn't come into the equation when you thought about it. Now they're sitting one game away from being in the lead. Again, there's no reason for Georgia Southern to get out of what they do. They're going to continue to feature the fullback, let the big road graders come off and create holes, and let Hunter get in behind and make some plays also.
On the pitch, Anderson spins his way, keeps his feet to the 41. Kevin Anderson, who had a big gainer to start this game of 30 yards, adds 22 on this carry.
Here's the third facet of the option. You ride the fullback, quarterback comes down the line, he's taken away by Traylor, and now you get the pitch to Anderson. It's the first time we've seen Appalachian break down on taking the pitch away.
Hunter, and on his back. In the game at fullback, we've talked about Brandon Andrews. We noticed that coming out of the locker room and back to the bench now is Jermaine Austin. Wondering what problem he may have had, but he's back on the bench now.
Well, Andrews has run well in his chance to be in the football game.
Here's Jermaine.
Well, I'll tell you what, the two defensive ends for this team are all conference performers in the games I've seen them play in. Leon Moore, again, makes the play there. KT Stovall cuts it off where Hunter has nowhere to go. So when you see KT imploring this home crowd, it's really gotten into this game since the game was tied, and they've become a factor for Appalachian State.
3rd and 5. Nothing doing up the middle. Andrews denied. You know, you talked about Byron, we've talked about Stovall, we've talked about Moore, and you look at the stat sheet, Dave, and it says Georgia Southern 340 yards rushing, yet we continue to extol the virtues of how well these guys are playing.
Well, every yard that Georgia Southern's gotten, they've earned. They've had to pound it, and Appalachian State's been has risen to the task. They have not allowed him to get into the end zone. And ultimately, that's the stat you're going to look at, what's on the scoreboard at the end of the game.
Amen. Counter, keeper, denied. Appalachian ball with 9:18 to go.
Well, Jarrell Carter makes this play in the middle because it's turned back inside by Leon Moore. And that's what those linebackers love about their two outside people. Leon Moore turns it inside, and right there's Carter to clean up. They've stepped up their game in the second half. Appalachian State, I believe they win at halftime, and we're a little embarrassed defensively. It was the #2 rush defense in the conference, and they got pushed around the first half. They've come out with a little more resolve.
Williams at quarterback. Keeps it. And thrown down just shy of the 35-yard line by Victor Cabral.
Williams got tackled pretty awkwardly there, turned the ankle. And he's going to have to come out of the football game. They've already called a timeout, so once you call an injury timeout, he's got to come out. Got twisted a little bit at the end of the run. Williams, #7, going to turn up inside, fakes the pitch. Now watch, he's kind of turned right there, just rotated on the ankle. And there is the ultimate difference between natural grass and no matter what synthetic turf you play on. And this is the best you can play on as far as synthetic turf goes. But the grass will tear loose at that point. The synthetic turf is not going to do that. And so you get the turn of the ankle. And Sal, now Elsner, who Jerry Moore is very excited about having Elsner here as his backup quarterback. The transfer came in, I guess, from Florida State or from Air Force. Comes in from Air Force. He's very excited about this kid. Let's watch the turn of the ankle here at the bottom. And see, there's just no ground's going to give way, and the ankle gets turned up underneath.
Jerry Moore told us yesterday, we haven't had an ankle sprain on this turf all season. That'll teach you. 28-21.
Today's game was brought to you by your Carolina Ford dealers, driving the Carolinas. By BB&T, you can tell we want your business. By Stedman Hawkins, keeping active people active. And by Food Lion. Food Lion, extra low prices.
High drama in the high country. 8:59 remaining, 28-21. Appalachian in the lead. This is Richie Williams, the quarterback. And his right ankle is the injury. How severe, obviously, we don't know, but he's coming out of the game. And now you mentioned the left-hander, Eric Elsner, is going to have to come on in relief. You've been in spots like this before. What's going through his mind?
Well, he's nervous. I guarantee you that it's churning. Your team's up by a touchdown. You have a chance to beat the #10 team in the country. So you realize when you come into the game that this is your opportunity to shine, but it's also an opportunity to give the football game away too. So you're churning a little bit inside because he really hadn't gotten to play much. 21 attempts on the season. He's completed 11 of them and has not rushed the football. So he's not been a guy that's been much of a factor because Richie Williams has been such a top player. And Richie's limping over to the side. I'm a little surprised they're allowing him to even walk on the leg before they know what's wrong with it. But they've cut the tape off, and that doesn't look like he's going to be able to return to the football game. So it's Elsner's game from here on. It's just a matter of him coming in and letting people around him make plays. 34 is the guy that comes to mind, Atwater.
And it's Atwater on the toss. To the 38. And Dave, maybe it's just me, but here you got a Georgia Southern team that does not pass it all that well. You're 7 down. The other guy's got the ball. I've got one eye on that clock, pal, and it's starting to get nervous time for the Eagles. 8.5. It's 3rd down. I mean, this is a big defensive play right now for the Eagles. That punter for Appalachian. McKinney's such a weapon. Under pressure. and dropped. And they get the big stop. Eric Hadley from behind.
Well, I don't know if that looked like it might have been a run all the way. Hadley makes a great play from behind, but Elsner looked like he almost wanted to throw the football, and Leach didn't even run a route for him on the sideline. So now they got to give the ball back to this high-powered offense.
And it looks like Georgia Southern's coming. McKinney, plenty of time, booms it away. This bounces for the Mountaineers to the 20. Another tremendous punt by Nate McKinney. 42 yards when they needed it desperately. College football recruiting fans, be sure to check out Countdown to Signing Day Wednesdays at 6:30. Coming up this week, they'll check West Monroe, Louisiana's Luke Sanders, one of the finest linebackers in the South. Countdown to Signing Day Wednesdays at 6:30 on Fox Sports Net. Well, here we are, 7:35 to play. Georgia Southern with the football, down 7 from their own 20, and Hunter goes down. And guess who is there to make the tackle?
You guys have been outstanding. The two defensive ends for this team are just the strength of their defense. Let's face it, they're the two guys that really make it go.
And that's exactly what Appalachian needed, a stop on first down.
What's amazing is Stovall plays off the block of the fullback and the tackle here. There's the fullback trying to cut his legs, and he still makes the play.
2nd and long. Hunter wants to throw. He's chased, and he's down at the 22.
It was his partner, Leon Moore. Leon Moore makes another play on the quarterback.
Paul Collins is injured.
Boy, and that offensive front for Georgia Southern has played a good football game today. You can't afford to lose the big fellas up front.
Travis Hames comes in to take his spot at right tackle. 3rd down and 8. On 3rd downs today, Georgia Southern is 5 of 11. Hunter to pass. Hunter under pressure. Hunter can't get away, and a sack at the 15. That would be KT Stovall.
Yeah, credit Blaylock too. Blaylock makes a play, and Stovall, he's just, his motor, it runs 90 miles an hour all the time. Plays through the block of Haynes. Quarterback scrambles back into him. Credit Blaylock. Blaylock got a good inside push that pushed the quarterback towards Stovall. Stovall gets the credit for the sack.
.55 to play. The punt is a short one. It is going to bounce over the 50, and Georgia Southern acting as if Appalachian had touched the ball and it was a live ball, but that's not the case. Appalachian will have it 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line, a 38-yard punt by Sean Holland.
Well, it came extremely close to touching Lyles, but he got out of the way.
Well, the
Richie Williams is in the middle of the pile down here in this offensive group, imploring them to put the thing together and let's win this football game.
And what Elsner,
Stovall may be defensive player of the week again this week.
Nationally. Well, look who's back in. Richie Williams. Adwater to the 50. And what Appalachian has to do now is move those chains.
Yeah, and now the clock becomes an ally of Appalachian State. And now you'll see Richie Williams, who's played the majority of the snaps for this football team, begin to work the clock. I'll be surprised if you see the play clock snap before 3 or 2 on the clock. Continue to milk it. If they get a first down here, then you're going to have to start seeing Georgia Southern start to burn some of their timeouts.
They have 2 remaining. Second and 7. Adwater cannot bounce to the outside as Hadley jumped on his back.
You know, we've given a lot of press and a lot of talk towards Leon Moore and KT Stovall, but Hadley has had a spectacular game for Georgia Southern as well. He's been in the backfield virtually the entire afternoon for the Georgia Southern defense, and he makes a huge play now and puts a wounded Richie Williams in a 3rd and long situation. You wonder if he's not going to have the ability to scramble away now, so almost a sitting duck in a passing situation. You may see him run the football, punt it, and just play some defense here.
Third and 10. Butler back in the game at middle linebacker, and here they come, and Williams is down.
And it's Eric Hadley again off the edge. Hadley has had as big a game for Georgia Southern as Morin Stovall have had on the other side for Appalachian State. He has been all over the place when it comes to defense in the backfield for Appalachian State.
A whopping 13 tackles for Hadley.
Hadley going to come off the edge and they can't block him. And he makes a big lick, and credit Richie Williams for holding on the football, because those are those situations where the ball's jarred loose. Hadley with a super play, 2 plays back to back.
They're second. Please.
Now Georgia Southern takes a timeout.
4 minutes, 18 seconds.
They'll reset the game clock to 4:18.
I'll tell you what you see here is the reason Georgia Southern burns a timeout is they've got to save as much time as they can. If you're a team that can throw the football, you save your timeout for your offense. But you don't want them to run 30 seconds off here, because you know you're going to have to kind of feature the run in your comeback. And so they're trying to save as much time as possible. They'll stop the clock with first downs.
The Citadel beat Furman 10-9 earlier today. Furman bumped the snap on an extra point.
Oh, no.
And lost by a point, 10-9. Appalachian, and you recall at Furman last week, Appalachian had a chance to, at the end of the game, put a little drive together, eat some time, and they held the ball for 32 seconds before punting it away to Furman. Paladins took it, moved down the field, did not score, settled for a field goal, and lost 13-10. Almost the same kind of situation here. As Appalachian gets the ball back, they don't burn a lot of clock, about a minute and a half. It's down to 4:18, but McKinney's forced to punt it.
Well, here's where your weapon of McKinney comes into play. He's been strong all day long. Let's see if he answers the call one more time for Appalachian State.
We'll check the hang time, too. This one hits and is marked out at the 22-yard line. 40-yard punt. Well, Georgia Southern, this is your season. They've won the Southern Conference 6 years in a row. If it's going to be 7, they have got to score on this drive, because 2 losses, with Wofford winning today and having already lost to Wofford this season, this is it for the Eagles.
And they'll have to mix more pass into their operation than they would like to.
Hunter swings it outside to Anderson, and Lynch comes up to make the tackle.
Lynch and Traylor make the tackle and keep Anderson inbound short of a first down. So the clock now begins to work against Georgia Southern. But if you're going to throw the football from a Georgia Southern standpoint, Trey Hunter is the guy you want in the game. Chaz Williams has struggled throwing the football. Trey Hunter has thrown the ball well.
Cranking, throwing, incomplete. Lynch nearly had another pick. 3rd down. Georgia Southern has dominated, and we mean dominated, the Southern Conference. 6 consecutive league titles. 6 consecutive 1AA playoff trips. And we're in the middle of October, and this is going to be the 3rd loss for Georgia Southern. That might be in jeopardy.
Well, they still got 3:30 left on the clock.
Hunter. He's going to throw it down the sideline, and it's intercepted at the 37-yard line. The pick is made by Derek Black.
But what happens when you don't throw the football, you're not comfortable doing it. And Georgia Southern just is not comfortable throwing the ball. If you watch in the middle of the screen, there's going to be a receiver wide open. We may not be able to see it. Anderson's going to come open. You just barely saw him there. He forces the ball up, and it's picked off by Lyles. But because they don't throw the football very much, you just don't do it very efficiently. And Black comes up with the interception. but he had a receiver down the middle of the field open, and just the repetitions of throwing the football just aren't there.
Elsner back in to run it. Using that good Air Force training and running it well out to the 45. Clock a big factor now for the Eagles. They have 1 timeout to burn, 3:10 and counting.
Well, Elsner's a big kid. Weighs 220 pounds, 215, 220 pounds. So that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a steady diet at number 34, Atwater, and you're going to get Elsner on the edge running with the football. Be very surprised to see them put the ball in the air. Let's see if the young guy can work the clock. He
Play
looks like
clock's at 10.
Yeah, he's watching it. He's working it.
Snap at 4. Atwater. Loss of a yard for Chet, the first man to get there.
Chet and Butler have been so active today for Georgia Southern's defense.
Georgia Southern.
They used their last timeout here.
That's the third and final timeout.
2:27 to play. 28-21 Mountaineers. Our player of the game, KT Stovall. As a presenting sponsor of tonight's telecast, BB&T will donate $500 on behalf of KT to the General Scholarship Fund of the Southern Conference. At the end of the year, the fund will be distributed among the members of the Southern Conference.
And I think he can share that one with Leon Moore and Blaylock and Suter and everybody else, but he has been a one-man wrecking crew.
We'll call the folks at BB&T. We want $500 for Stovall and $500 more for Moore.
That's right. Throw a couple 250s in for those 2 D tackles.
That's right. Boy, what a job they did in turning this game around in the second half. As you mentioned, Dave, Georgia Southern was running pretty much at will in that first half.
And maybe credit the defensive staff for Appalachian State. They turned up the heat a little bit, changed some things, maybe defensive front-wise. But what thing they didn't change 90 and 93 on the edge. They just kept coming.
Elsner at quarterback. Wants to stay in bound and does. Ball came loose, but he was down. That means the clock continues to run.
And a smart play by Elsner to stay in bounds.
It will be 4th down and a yard. So Georgia Southern's going to have one more, or will they? I'm assuming Appalachian will punt it.
Yeah, you got to punt this football. You don't turn it over. You don't go for it here on your own 46-yard line.
Well, where is McKinney?
Well, they'll run the clock down as far as they can, maybe even take the 5-yard penalty, and then put your punt team in. They do have a timeout left, too, a couple timeouts left. They'll burn a timeout right at the end here, probably come up in a second or two. And now they can punt the football and play defense.
Timeout. Appalachian State. Their second of the half.
Later this evening, our college football Saturday will continue. Coming up next, we send you to the Big 12 as number 1 Oklahoma battles number 24 Missouri.
How about that? Maybe your leading Heisman candidate, Jason White, the quarterback from Oklahoma, has thrown 9 touchdown passes in the last 2 weeks.
Other parts of our region, in North Carolina, we've got the Carolina Hurricanes getting set to face off against the New York Rangers tonight. That's coming along at the top of the hour. And for those of you watching in Boone, North Carolina, we will stay with this football game and switch you to hockey later. 28-21. Appalachian resurrecting its season, off to a bumpy start at 1-3. Losers at the Citadel. And in Eastern Kentucky, in a season opening 1A, defeated Hawaii. They've got a chance to end a 4-game losing streak to the Eagles of Georgia Southern. But GSU is going to have one more crack at it here with a minute and a half to go. McKinney with the punt, and he airs it out back to the 8-yard line. And the return and getting out of bounds at the 12-yard line to Steady Kraft. Another magnificent punt by McKinney, 46 yards.
Well, you might want to get an extra 500 for McKinney, too.
Yeah, BB&T can afford it. You know, we're going to just hand out their money all night long.
Spectacular kick and tremendous coverage. Now, anybody that thinks this game's over with is crazy, because there's too many athletes wearing white jerseys out there on the Georgia Southern side and that have been in these situations before. A lot of experience on Georgia Southern side from an athletic standpoint, from a skill position standpoint.
Georgia Southern has not scored in the second half. They need 7 to tie it, and the pass to Kraft is incomplete. 2nd and 10 with 1:21 left.
You force your quarterback into a 3-step drop and throw the ball short because of KT Stovall, because of Blaylock, because of Byram, because of Leon Moore. They rush the passer so well that they can't afford to get their quarterback too deep in the pocket.
Hunter, 4 for 10 with 3 passes intercepted. 2nd and 10. Hunter throws, incomplete, penalty flag, stops it with 1:16 left.
I hope they don't call grounding here, because I don't agree with this.
There is no flag on the play. There was a receiver in the area.
Yes, there was.
3rd down.
Yeah,
The old quarterback saw that one.
Hunter tries to get rid of the football. Blaylock gets a good rush to the inside. 57's Blaylock. Makes the offensive guard miss. Good rush. He realizes he's got a back right in the middle. There's Kevin Davis.
3rd and 10. 1:16 to play. Hunter throwing. Too tall and wide for Davis. 4th and 10. They've got to move the sticks on this one. And the ball game is over. For you fans watching in the state of North Carolina, with the exception, of course, of the folks here in Boone, you'll be switched to tonight's NHL game featuring the Carolina Hurricanes. For the rest of you, all over the network, we'll stay here at Appalachian. Minute 10 to play. Hunter on 4th down, cranks and throws. That's complete to Anderson. He's going to be marked at the 20. That's 3 yards shy. Appalachian ball. Appalachian win.
Well, it's a huge win when you defend your home field the way Appalachian did today, especially the way Georgia Southern came out. Their first drive, they just stuff it down Appalachian's throat, go 80 yards and score. Appalachian just, stems the tide, continue to play, and play defense is what they did in the second half.
So let's look ahead.
Well, the first thing you have to look at for Appalachian State is what is the health of Richie Williams?
Yes.
Richie Williams sprains the ankle. How serious is that? Elsner looks like he might be a guy that can handle things, but again, Richie Williams is such a catalyst offensively. Now you look forward to
guess who next week?
And there's your big game.
The league leader.
They slate it. They go play the Terriers of Wofford in Spartanburg, South Carolina. That should be a classic.
And Georgia Southern has to take on the red-hot Citadel Bulldogs in Statesboro. That will do it. The Appalachian State Mountaineers, in front of a huge crowd of nearly 14,000 at Kid Brewer Stadium, are enjoying the victory against their arch rivals from Statesboro.
And you've only got one guy on that field that had ever done this before, and that was KT Stovall. So this is a new experience. They'd lost 4 in a row to Georgia Southern. New experience for those guys in black. They're going to go get him a goalpost.
Down she goes, and it's off to the lake. The athletic director at Appalachian is Rochel Laney. He's going to have to dip into the kitty to come up with a new goalpost for when they host Chattanooga in 2 weeks.
Well, it didn't take them long to get it down.
Now, they've got this down to an art.
There she goes.
Yep, and it'll go right out the stadium and right down the road and into the lake.
You don't think there are going to be frat parties tonight, do you?
Not too many.
Well, it's a huge win, obviously, for the season. I mean, this has been a quality program that Jerry Moore has here at Appalachian State for several years. But this is a big win for this season because the start they got off to, they were really out of it. And all of a sudden, they climb back in. They win the big one against 5th-ranked Furman last week, and they come here and get the 10th-ranked Georgia Southern Eagles. Next week we talked about they go to number 8, which will be even higher probably next week for Wofford. Number 8 Wofford at Spartanburg, South Carolina.
If they can pull off that hat trick, they probably deserve to win the league.
I would give them a bid to the tournament just because they can, and that's what it is. You win your division, you get in. But there's other guys, these teams that are finishing second, third down the road. They're looking for play wins, big wins like this that get you into that postseason dance of 16 teams.
You thought I was kidding when I said it was going to go right out of the stadium and down the street.
Well, they're not wasting any time.
Telling you, they've got this play down. Appalachian wins it 28-21. And for Georgia Southern, their 3rd loss this season. McNeese, Wofford, and now Appalachian. And you've got to wonder a couple of things. Obviously, Georgia Southern right now out of the regular season race in their bid for a 7th straight title. But they also have got to be thinking, hey, we can't afford any more defeats if we've got a chance at the playoff.
Well, you look at their recipe for victory, and let's rush for 350 yards or 325 yards. They rushed for 339 yards tonight and don't come out with the victory. And you have to look directly at turning the football over. They threw 3 interceptions. They lost 1 fumble. So, again, the turnover bug bites Georgia Southern. Obviously, late, the Lynch interception sets up the game winner. But they dominated the game statistically. But, again, we talked about the main statistic is when 60 minutes runs out, who's got more points. And Appalachian State got it done today.
For the season now, Georgia Southern's -12 in turnover margin. And here's the way the league looks. Dave Archie, you called it earlier today. Separation Saturday in the Southern Conference. And they have been separated. You've got Wofford, the Citadel, and Appalachian now in the top 3 spots.
Yeah, and Appalachian plays Wofford next week. The Citadel still has, or Furman still has to play Wofford. Georgia Southern still plays Furman. So there's still some games to be done. And there's still a lot that can happen. But Appalachian certainly got a leg up for themselves to have a chance to win this conference.
A whale of a day, a beautiful Saturday has turned into a delirious evening for the Appalachian State Mountaineers as they knock off Georgia Southern 28-21. Stay with us. Our college football Saturday continues. Those of you who are watching hockey are already gone. For the rest of you, on to the Big 12. It's going to be Missouri and number 1 Oklahoma on our Big 12 game of the week. Join us next week, Samford, Tennessee State from Birmingham. For Dave Archer and our entire Fox Sports Net crew, this is Bob Rathman saying good night from Boone, North Carolina. You've been watching Fox Sports Net.